is Jude Ikami Jude, and of course, today is Thursday, and well, I also have the CP here. We have the opportunity of having him join us every Tuesday, and of course, Thursday, because he's someone who has got the progress of the country at heart. Yeah, the success, the good of the country at heart. And that's why he's always coming here to do this with us. And we are very, very grateful. A very beautiful afternoon to you, CP.
Good afternoon to you and to the listeners.
Good afternoon to you. All right. Quickly, don't forget that we are streaming on YouTube. Exactly. We're streaming on YouTube. That is VOP 90.3 FM. Okay. And I would always love you to go there and watch us live. And hey, you can also drop your comment just right there. Huh? We've got a couple of issues to discuss this afternoon. We'll touch them back to back. If you're new here, that's why I'm giving you all of this information, okay? We drop it one after the other, back to back, okay? And make it look beautiful. And for you who's a regular listener, I want to say, hey, let's do this again the way we used to do it, but this time in a better way. Okay? So, welcome on board. Jude Ikami Jude is my name. Okay? And, hey, let's hit it. Now, since the CP is, a security personnel, I would love to start from here. The police force public relations officer, Prince Olumuyiwa Adejobi, said that the deployment of policemen to individuals will be reviewed and regularized. Okay, the police PRO statement was in response to a Twitter account with the name Oluyemi Fashikpe, who posted the video requesting to know who the man in the video was and why he had so many policemen securing him. Yeah, well, it was contained in the statement on Wednesday via his Twitter account. He was actually reacting to a viral video of an unidentified VIP seen, being escorted on foot by no fewer than 7 armed policemen. CP, 7 armed policemen. And, to some of us, to some Nigerians, it's quite disgusting. It is reducing, policing in Nigeria. It's not a good one. But then I don't know how you would love to react to it being, a police personnel also.
Well, I just like you rightly pointed out that principal happens to be unidentified, and possibly the man must have gotten an approval to use those policemen, and I strongly believe that it is possible that those number of policemen were not assigned to him as a person, but maybe to his agency or his department or his ministry, if he's a top government functionary. On the other hand, if he's in the private sector, that number may have been approved for his company or his organization, depending. The fact of the matter remains that because I had worked in a place where we deploy, I was in charge of Special Protection Unit as their Commissioner of Police. And once approval is given, we do assessment of the beat they are going to cover to know the number of personnel we will deploy based on the approval. And you find out that in some cases, they have expatriates, who will require them for escorts, as well as they do guard duties. So in a situation where maybe there is weekend or there is public holidays, And those people they give this cover or this security are home. They are not in the offices, and they don't have any need for them. I think such opportunity gives room for the principal, maybe the chief executive of such private sector, to pack everybody together and maybe in the name of doing sala for them. As me, it is something that would have happened within these public holidays. And all of them would oblige him, since it is the same company or the same organization that they have come to provide security for.
But having 7 policemen guiding just one person.
No, that's what I'm clearing now, that maybe they are not all meant for him. They are meant for the organization. They are used for escorts sometimes. Some of them may be for escorts of their VIPs, and some will be doing guard duties. So if it is a time like this public holidays, those VIPs may have traveled out of the country on holidays or may have gone to their towns or communities to go and celebrate the Salah or the public holiday. Then the men are there concentrated, Possibly the man may have taken that advantage and say, okay, I want to go somewhere. All of you come. They will oblige him because they are already assigned to that company or to that organization. It's not as if they are permanently with him. Probably it's a one-off thing they will do with him, and after that, they distribute themselves again. Those that will be doing escort will be doing escort. Those that will be on guard will be on guard. Maybe, like you said, 7 that we identify, 4 will be doing escort, for their possibly expatriates or high-profile office holders in the private sector. Then the other 3 will be the ones who are guarding the office. So in a scenario like this, when there is public or the offices are not open, all of them will come together and maybe stay in one place. The man may say, okay, come and escort me to somewhere. They can't say no to him.
But generally speaking, don't you think the deployment of policemen in the country should be reviewed?
That's exactly what the new IG is doing. He's on it. Like what I gathered, the Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of operations, DIGB, has been charged because all those other deployments fall under his department.
Okay.
From what I heard, he has been charged to look at what exactly has been on ground and advise the IG accordingly, since the IG is just resuming. And it's not a one-day thing. I think it will take a while. It cannot take less than 2 to 4 weeks. That's between 14 and 30 days to do that.
Okay.
Yes, they will look at all the approvals given. I'm sure they must have even asked all the commanding officers of Special Protection Unit and even Special Forces. No, Special Forces are not really used. The Police Mobile Force, that's the PMF, and even the counter-terror units to bring in all their details of deployments so that the RG will look at them and look at the critical areas where they are really needed. Where they are not, I think he will recall them. Where they have in excess, he will cut the thing down to the size that is commensurate for operations in that area. That will enable him to beef up enough reserve to be used in critical areas of security challenges.
I want to use this opportunity to ask this question. How many policemen is actually supposed to be guarding, an individual,
No, it depends on the office the person is holding. That's what I mean by assessing. If somebody is holding an office like a Senate President or governor, or Speaker of House of Representatives or Speaker of House of Assembly, you cannot give him the same number you're giving to somebody like Managing Director of Nigeria Ports Authority or Managing Director of NNPC or the Vice Chairman of Nigerian Communications Commission. So they look at the thing, look at the capacity of the place, the strength of the people working there, and the type of hazards such chief executive officers or principals are exposed to. then that is what they put in, they factor in before they consider the number to assign to those principals.
Okay, I'll quickly also, before we get to the big deal, I quickly want to also get to your response as regards the fact that the Nigerian Data Protection Commission has said that the central bank was given a central bank a directive to to collect customers' social media handles. I don't know if you also got that. I mean, the Nigerian Data Protection Commission has said that the Central Bank of Nigeria directives to commercial banks to collect their customers' social media handle is illegal. I mean, do you consider that a good one?
It is appropriate. Whatever the agency you've just mentioned, the Data Commission, is doing is covered by the law, and I think it is in line with the level of cyber crimes we are having these days, in addition to the terrorism and insurgency we are having affecting or afflicting a lot of areas in Nigeria. So with this, I think it's a good thing. They'll be able to be tracking or tracing those behind the mask who would have been sponsoring or supporting terrorism and crimes of such a large magnitude.
So you were saying they should go ahead and do that?
It is in order. They can go ahead and do that. Those who feel otherwise, they are free to go to court and challenge it. But before an agency like that will come up with this position, that means they must have received so much intelligence that a lot of water is passing under the bridge.
But the Data Protection Commission is saying that it is illegal.
He's saying that what CBN is trying to do is illegal.
He's not.
Let them go to court and challenge it. Let them go to court and challenge it. There's always a reason.
Must we involve
courts?
Court?
Well, once you say something is illegal, then, and you cannot physically go and stop, an agency that has been charged with responsibility of regulating, especially the financial systems. If you feel that what they are doing is not in order, you're very free. You can go to court and challenge it. If you have your judgment, then the court order will now be served on that agency to stop them. And if the agency wants to, stand on its feet and stamp their feet fully on ground, they can go ahead also to challenge it at an appellate jurisdiction that is higher than that court order you have gotten. So it is perfectly in order.
All right, let me read some more information here.
Yes.
According to Olubanji, okay, let me take it from here. The National Commissioner of Data Protection Commission, Dr. Vincent Olatunji, said, that before the establishment of the Nigerian Data Protection Act on June the 12th, indiscriminate collection of citizens' data by data controller organizations was not taken seriously. He explained that there were, prerequisite steps any data controller must take prior to the collection of data from any data subject. He also said that any organization, that defaulted was going against the law and causing a data breach, adding that it would attract a fine. Now, let me quote him. He said there are provisions in the law to go against any data controller, be it private or government office, NGOs, hotels, because according to him, we are pro-citizens. The whole idea of these laws is to protect the rights, the interests of Nigerians who are data subjects. We are already engaging with the CBN to let them know that what they have done is against the law, because there are basic principles you must meet when you want to collect citizens' data. That's what he said.
Well, from my own perspective and analysis, when issue comes to data collection of citizens. They have various ways of managing it. We have Nigerian NIMSI, that is the ones that are doing our
NIMC.
Yes, you know, and those are the requirements. Even the banks and the Nigeria Immigration Service will look for before they issue you with international passports, as well as even the commercial banks. In their KYC, know your customers procedure.
Okay.
If you don't have your NIMSI, be sure that they will not open an account for you. They will require that in addition to the other aspect that the banks ask for. You know, the BVN, before they get you, you're connected with the BVN and all that. So these are requirements. So at the end of the day, you see that this data collection has a way of connecting themselves between the banks, the Data Protection Commission, and even the Nigeria Immigration Service, and so on and so forth. And I think it is a very good thing. The synergy should continue to be there, because that's the only way you can checkmate some people who are doing the wrong things, especially cybercrime and terrorism. Even insurgency and kidnappings, all these high-profile criminalities. That's a way to track or trace the deviants.
Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. Now we're heading straight to, the big issue of the day. Two though, but then we'll take it one after the other.
Yes.
Because I know a whole lot of persons are watching us already, and like I said, let's just take it one step at a time. Now let's first of all, visit what Tinubu said recently. I'm trying to let's talk about the renewed hope thing. The deputy national chairman of the ruling All Progressives Congress APC chief Emeka Egwuatu, has urged Nigerians to support President Bola Tinubu's agenda to transform the country. According to the chieftain, Nigerians should appreciate Tinubu's willingness to sacrifice, for the good of all by supporting his government to succeed. By supporting his government to succeed. CP, don't you see these as someone coming out to beg, openly beg for support?
Well, I don't see it that way. You don't.
How do you see it?
Yes, I don't see it that way. You don't need to go and beg for support to run the government. The bottom line is that it is a collective responsibility. It is not a one-man show, and whatever is being done is done in line with the provisions of the Constitution. In other words, the president, in actualizing the promises he has made to Nigerians, requires, or rather it is incumbent on him, to choose functionaries that will fill key positions with a view to actualize this. And I think the president is taking his time to be sure that he's choosing people based on their track record, their pedigrees and professionalism, so that at the end of the day, you don't just bring in a bench warmer to hold sensitive positions, thereby taking us back to so many years. He will require technical people, not necessarily based on party or tribe or religion. I think those things are primordial. He has crossed that bar or that level, in as much as he can consider people who are members of the party, but those people must be qualified persons to hold those positions.
You know, thinking from the fact that a few days ago, the All Progressives Congress came out to say, look, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party and that of the PDP should, for the sake of national unity, let's come together and support the government of Asiwaju Bola Tinubu.
Yes.
And here is another person coming out, Chief Emeka, saying that Nigerians should support Tinubu's renewed hope agenda.
Of course.
And I'm now saying, we're now asking the question: is it that is it like the government is on their own, doing their own thing, not having the support of the populace, not having the support of Nigerians? Is it like maybe there is a lacuna between the people and the government? What is missing in the middle? What is this thing we're talking about? Maybe you help us understand.
No, the thing is that some people are just playing politics. Like I've always maintained, government is a continuum, and it is for the good of the people. So whatever decision the government is taking in the course of governance views all aspects, all angles, and the bottom line is overriding public interests. So some of the decisions they are taking, especially bordering most on the economic decisions, is for the way forward to get us out of the mess we have found ourselves. And if you look at it, like I keep hammering, look at the exposure the country is facing in terms of debts, both internal and foreign debts. As at the last count, they were talking of 77 trillion. And now the latest we are getting is around 81 trillion. Who is going to pay that debt? How are we going to get out of it? I think what the government is even doing for now is to stop or to checkmate these, negativities and the excesses that was a bane of the past regime. This arbitrary going to take loans left, right, and center. Let us manage that bit first. And then it is also worrisome when we hear that the IGR or the Federation were spending almost 90 to 95% of it in servicing debts. For how long will we continue like that? So what they are doing more or less is what we call damage control. They are trying to start off from that basis, and then as time goes on, they will, reorganize, the already battered and badly damaged economy to at least stabilize it so that foreigners and even locals who want to invest can still have confidence in growing the economy, to do increased investments in the Nigerian economy. Let it not be a situation where people will be discouraged to the extent that those who want to bring in capital to, invest here will think of going to other countries where they believe their investment will be secured and would return, because the essence of investment is not just decorative or for you to be, to be on the field.
No, CP, let me break this down more.
Yes.
Now, when the president, Asiwaju Tinubu, came up, he said that he is going to leverage on the achievement of his predecessor, to make the country a safe haven.
Yes.
To leverage on the last president, Muhammadu Buhari's achievements.
Yes.
And for so many Nigerians, they feel that the president did close to nothing.
Okay.
The whole of the Nigerians, feel the president did nothing. In fact, some came up and say, hey, he took us 30 years backwards. And some will tell you, he took us 80 years backwards. And everyone was has just been saying his or her own opinion. Now, That's on one side. Nigerians have, they are not too cool or too okay with that statement because they feel the last president, the former president, did not do anything. Now, let's now fast forward to how the election played out. After February the 25th, all of the dramas, all right, the higgy hagas, all of these things that happened. Now the president is now, or don't you? Maybe I should ask you, don't you feel that these and more are one of the reasons why Nigerians feel let these people just do their thing while we do our own? Because again, a whole lot of persons have been waiting for what will be the final outcome, from the court. So don't you feel that this is one of the reasons why the government is trying to probably beg the people, bring them closer, tell them to forget about the past, ask Atiku, ask Peter Obi to come together so we could build, the country where we could be united? Don't you think that something is just, playing out?
No, the thing is this. People are mixing up governance and politics. They are interwoven anyway, but in this scenario, let me also break it down a little bit.
Okay.
For somebody to say that Obi and Atiku are not part of what is going on is not right. Because why I say they are wrong is that they are not anti-government. You understand what I'm saying? Whatever that will make the government to succeed, I believe strongly that they will contribute their own quota for the government to move on and to ameliorate the hardship and sufferings Nigerians are going through. That is why from time to time, you see them lending their voices to some of the decisions that are being taken and some of the areas they feel that the thing should be adjusted in a certain direction so that the pains and hardship will be minimized. That does not at the same time stop them legally and constitutionally from pursuing through the courts or through the judiciary what they believe they have been denied by the umpire, the electoral umpire, which is the INEC. So there are two different things. So for people to expect, okay, if you're talking of government of national unity, that they will say, no, they are not part of it. I mean, the person must be making a hell of mistake. They cannot come out and say they are not part of government of national unity. Their own is, let us stabilize this economy, improve the polity, then let the court still at the same time do what is expected of them. If at the end of the day, the court says, especially the Supreme Court, the last court in the land, if they finally get there and they say it is A that should be there, so be it. Would that make them not to be part of Nigeria again? The answer is capital no. If the thing turns to the other side, everybody will just comply with the position and life continues. What is more important now is how to get us out of this mess that we have found ourselves. And then furthermore, for people to say that the former president, Muhammadu Buhari, did not achieve anything, is being unfair to the man.
Really?
Yes, they are being unfair. Not that he made so much achievement, but you can't say he didn't even achieve anything. Because if you look in terms of infrastructure, you would have seen that they have done something substantial, but possibly the thing did not meet the expectation of the masses or expectation of the public. And they should at the same time realize that what was being spent in recurrent expenditure, and overhead was excessively high, far, far, far higher than what was being spent on capital projects. And furthermore, it is not the president, he was not the maximum ruler, he was not a military head of government that will take a decision and everything goes that direction. There has to be appropriation by the National Assembly for disbursement of public funds. So he had his limitations. If you look at some of the ongoing projects, it depends on what they have appropriated in the National Assembly. And that is what is being disbursed to those contractors doing the various projects. Like, let me take one example.
Okay.
Before he came on board, between Enugu to Port Harcourt Expressway was impassable to a large extent, to a large degree. But when he came in, the road had been done from Enugu up to Abia, very close to Port Harcourt. They have crossed Aba. They are now heading between Abia and Rivers, which I believe is not more than 40 kilometers. And once it's done, it is one of the smoothest and finest roads in the southeast for today. I am not saying that they told me. I'm saying this because within the last 3-4 years, I had on one occasion or the other used that road, especially when they did Anambra state elections, when we had to move all the way from Umuahia to Anambra through Enugu. We were even wondering, so this type of road is even in the southeast. It was done under his watch. Okay, if you look at Lagos-Ibadan Express, in our analysis some of the times, you can see how slow the thing is and how long it's taking them. It's not the fault of the government. It is the fault of where are the funds? What extent or measure of appropriation has been done by National Assembly in respect of, all these ongoing projects? The Julius Berger.
But these funds were borrowed.
Yes,
and they said they will use it for infrastructure and some other things.
Of course. The infrastructure is not only for Lagos-Ibadan Express. We are talking of what about Kaduna? No, from Kanu, Zaria, Kaduna, Abuja Express Road. Look at the length. Then you talk of Kanu to Meduguri through Jigawa, Bauchi, Yobe, Meduguri. All of them are going on at the same time.
Okay, but then can we equate what was borrowed and what we have on ground now? Is it possible?
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's not. It's left for those whose duty it is to audit the disbursements. Are they doing what is expected of them? There are agencies that are there to regulate and to checkmate the disbursements. That's what they are supposed to do, to know whether those funds they borrowed had been put to use for the purpose it is meant for. So for us, maybe we are at the periphery, we are on the surface. It's only when we get the hard facts, then we will know the extent of the disbursement.
I still want to believe that, more of these funds were siphoned, were stolen.
It is possible. It is possible.
If we have 77 trillion naira, debt, I want to believe.
It's not only on infrastructure that those debts that would have gone.
Generally speaking.
Generally, yes.
I want to believe that close to half was stolen.
Well,
under the Buhari regime.
I would not be definite on that. I cannot be specific on that because I don't have the facts. But we have agencies responsible for checkmating all those things. It is their duty to do that. And at the same time, those people, one way or the other, owe the people, they owe the Nigerians generally.
When you say...
in terms of accountability of how these funds were disbursed.
CP, when you say an agency who checkmates, these things, where were they while Buhari was still the president and was making, was borrowing and was, he was doing everything he wanted to do and no one was saying no to him? Okay, now, Buhari he's out of the office. He's out of that seat.
Buhari as a person did not go to do those borrowings as a person.
Okay.
It was a government decision.
But
he was only the head. They have the Federal Executive Council. They sit and debate on all those things. Were they not the ones that were coming up with those proposals? Is he the one that will say, no, I won't sign them?
It's like while you were the CP, you
Yes.
had boys under you.
Yes.
Just like Buhari had boys under him.
Yes.
You can't tell you can't tell your boys to go ahead with this and they say no. That was what happened. That's on one hand. On the other hand, now this man is no longer the president.
Yes.
And it seems like no one can hold him accountable for anything that happened while he was still, the president.
Yes.
Now he has gone to where no one knows, and we're suffering.
The thing is this.
We have debts piled up.
Yes, we do.
And I remember a senator was saying that there are about, I think he listed about 10 or thereabout persons that should be arrested in the country.
Yes.
Be made to pay.
Yes.
Return the money.
Yes. That senator or those people making those allegations have their facts and figures. So it is left for the present government to use the appropriate agencies to move in and get those people to come and account for how they disburse those funds. You see, where I have sympathy for Buhari is that he was the man in charge. That is why everybody is calling him names. When you go deep down, you see that it is those ministers and those, chief executive officers and MDs or chairman, executive chairman, and so on and so forth, of some of those parastatals and agencies that should be held to account for all those monies that went to their various. It's not the president that is there going to tell them that you are going to spend it like this and like that. It is what they packaged to him. They do memos to the president through the ministers, explaining all the details of what they are going to do. Then his own is to approve. He cannot say, no, I cannot approve it. Then it is now left for you to do the thing according to what you have convinced the president you are going to do. And at the end of the day, many of those privileges and opportunities were abused. They were abused. And unfortunately, too, the man he was not in a position to detect things when they were going wrong. That is where I give kudos to somebody like Obasanjo, because in his own time, you couldn't have done any of those things and get away with it. He would not even give you space to do that. You see, and it depends on the quality of advisors and technocrats around the president, like the ones Obasanjo had then. Those ones were people that were dedicated, they were patriotic, they were nationalistic, and above all, they were altruistic. They were thinking Nigeria compared to what we had in the last 8 years. Those ones, honestly speaking, I have my reservations about the integrity of those people. And I'm sure as time goes on, time will tell. It will bring them out one after the other. Like those of us who are Christians, we believe so much in karma. The wicked shall not go unpunished. Do the wrong things the way you feel because you're in position today. Tomorrow, you cannot be there permanent. It's either the person dies there, or at the nick of time, the person will live there. And others that will come in will exhume all the atrocities committed and will call them to come and respond to them. And that is what is ongoing now.
Okay, now, I'm trying to go through a document.
Yes.
Okay, let me put it in the right perspective here. Now, under Buhari alone, about, where is that figure? I'm trying to get my facts very, very correct.
Go ahead.
Okay, now, May 27 inauguration, has bemoaned the outgoing president. I'm trying to read,
is it 27 or 29?
The 29. I'm trying to read this information from on the 29th.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
Now, May 29th inauguration. Did I say 27?
Yes.
Or 29th, I beg your pardon.
It's an error, yes.
May 29th inauguration has bemoaned the outgoing president, Muhammadu Buhari's 8-year rule, lamenting that his reign plunged the country into high debt, increasing inflation and low growth. Now, according to it, it said between 2016 and 2022, the Buhari government raised the total revenue of 26.67 trillion naira and expended 60.64 trillion naira, leaving a deficit of 33.97 trillion naira. Now, that's not where I'm going to. This is where I'm going to. In this country, no one is held accountable for anything. It was a good one when I heard Jacob Zuma of South Africa was arrested and imprisoned.
Of course.
And I asked myself, can this happen in our beloved country, Nigeria?
The way things are going, we'll get there. I strongly believe
Buhari
that.
did his own, and he left all of these for Asiwaju Tinubu, and now the masses are suffering it. Don't you think so, CP?
No, I don't think so. That's why I said Buhari is, he was the alter ego and the representative of government being a president. Yes.
Okay.
But when you get to the nitty gritty, you may not be able to trace those recklessness in disbursement of the funds and or what you call that the funds were stashed.
But why is it difficult to trace it?
Who said that it's difficult to trace? When they do forensic auditing, they'll trace those funds. When you do padding, what they call padding in budgeting,
Budget padding.
they have a way of getting the facts now. They should use all the agencies of government charged with that responsibility to trace our funds and see the extent they can recover. Because much of those funds, I believe, would have gone out of the country. Maybe in Dubai, in UK, in US, and so on and so forth. They should trace them and get them back. And at the same time, too, the Debt Management Office did not do so well under that regime because they are the ones to have been in a position to raise red flag, you know, that things are going haywire, you know. And for them not being able to do that is very, very unfortunate for the debt to go to the extent or the dimension it reached before the exit of that regime. So the present regime is having very monumental issues to deal with. That is why they are taking some measures to get us out of this mess. And that was, the major one is this, making sure that the deregulation of downstream oil sector has been finalized, because the thing had been coming in bits. AGO first, the other one, kerosene, followed, cooking gas followed. The one that was a headache was PMS. And this regime was very bold to hold a bull by the horn. It is better it is painful, quite all right, but it is better we now begin to cut the remaining clothes according to our size. If the clothes are enough to sew only knicker, and we love wearing trousers, we can forget wearing trousers. Let's be wearing shorts. If you are wearing too much of long sleeve, look for the sleeveless or the short sleeve. That's just the summary of what we are going through now.
Voice of the People 90.3 FM. We're streaming live on YouTube, and if you are joining us right now, let's get your comments in the comment section, okay? Quickly. VOP 90.3 FM on YouTube. A whole of course have been coming in, but then, hey, you have to chillax, okay? Let's get to talk a little bit more before I get to open up the studio lines. Pardon me, just pardon me. Voice of the People 90.3 FM. I thought I wanted to go for a short break, but I think we should continue. Yeah, we should continue. Now, talking about the renewed hope agenda that we're still on. It has been said on several occasions that Nigeria has never been this united. And this current administration was so like enemies of ourselves. When you look at the current agitation, or I call it agitation, I don't even know what to call that, between the Yorubas and the Igbos, it's getting to a particular
level or height.
Yes. Level almost every day. And I think some persons are asking the same the question, like, is APC devoted to foster unity really in this country? Let's start from when Buhari
left. When he took over. Okay.
From government, took over government. Are they really devoted to foster unity amongst Nigerians.
I
Because
will.
it wasn't like this when Jonathan was there.
Yes. I will want us to put the past behind us for us to move forward. Let us close that chapter of the last 8 years up till May 29th of this year. Let's take it up from May 29th, because there's no need crying over spilled milk. Why I will want the government to focus, now they are in charge from 29th of May, is that there has been so much animosity within the last couple of months, which came to the fore before, during, and after the elections.
Okay.
And this is the time. I wouldn't want to advise government to set up a truth commission for reconciliation and all that. I think it has to come up, maybe much later, not now. The grievances has been so much. And like when I talk to some prominent Igbo citizens and leaders of thought, the question has always been, what is the offense of the Igbos? Where have they gone wrong? It's $1 million question. And up till now, nobody has come out to say this is the thing an Igbo man did or that. That then shows that this has been bottled up over years. It has been deep-seated animosity over the years. And I want the government, if they should take this advice, to nip this in the bud by, number one, coming out to condemn wrongdoings. And at the same time, secondly, calling some of those political office holders who are talking recklessly and then encouraging people to maybe go to the extremes against any particular people or tribe. Because people have been making careless statements and getting away with it. When people make such inciting statements, it is appropriate for the government to get those people invited or arrested to come and explain why they are trying to inflame the already deteriorated situation we are having. Because come to think of it, that's the question I keep asking. Where has the Igbo man gone wrong? What has he done? Nobody has been able to come out to say that he has done this or done that. It's only, okay, let me take the Lagos scenario. And that they are interlopers. They are getting involved in the politics of Lagos. I was like, what? How? Did any of them come out to contest for governorship? So what is his offense? Secondly, are you trying to say that he doesn't have any right again to go and vote? Is that an offense again? Or that he cannot come out to join any political party to campaign for them? Is that also an offense? That is one aspect of it. The other aspect, you're saying they said Lagos is no man's land. Where was it said? When? Go and bring out the video or the audio or where the discussion was held. You now see that these are just excuses that has been packaged all for a very long time, looking for an opportunity to visit it on innocent human beings who are there conducting their businesses and fostering, investments and various enterprises. So I don't want. There are certain words I'm trying to avoid using, but as time goes on, time will come. If we want to move forward, there has to be a truth commission that will be set up, and people will go there to ventilate their grievances. Then they will come out with facts and figures. That is where people like me will prepare my own memo and go there and give it to the commission. We need to, unless we don't want progress in this country, there are certain things we need to put behind us and move forward as a nation. If we are patriotic, if we are nationalistic, and if we want the country to move forward.
Now, I also want to believe, like I said earlier, that all of this started during President Muhammadu Buhari's tenure when he came in. This level of this unity, we should tell ourselves the truth. You know, the country is we're fighting to unite the country.
Yes, but like the question, you narrowed it down to Yoruba Igbos. Even though there was that kind of disunity, it wasn't that prominent. It wasn't that pronounced. You understand what I'm saying? It came to the fore in 2023, build up to the elections.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To the extent that people were making reckless statements and going away with it. So when you fail to condemn it, that means you are supporting it, that they can go ahead. So that is the area I'm expecting the government to come out.
For instance, like, you know, in addition to this, for instance, some persons are still waiting to hear that one Asari Dokubo has been arrested or questioned, you know, on why he made some of these statements that he made. One, two, that he, you know, had the effrontery, you know, the audacity, the whatever now to carry firearms. You know, he was seen with
AK-47.
AK-47.
Yes.
And up until now, no one is saying anything.
Well, we'll get to that. I don't want us to preempt government actions and decision. Let us watch and see how that one plays out. Because first and foremost, what he carried is a prohibited firearm. And maybe they need to ask him the source of that rifle. The video has already exposed him. So with that firearm, there's no way he will not go for minimum 3 years imprisonment for unlawful possession of firearms. Unless his lawyers will be able to convince the court why the man was carrying it. Does he have a license for that? No Nigerian has a license to carry automatic rifles.
Okay.
You can be permitted
No Nigerian.
No Nigerian. You are only permitted to carry the one they call muzzle loading, double or single barrel gun that uses cartridges. Then maybe to an extent, pump action gun. These are the ones they license. The only people authorized to bear those arms are the armed forces, the police, and other security agencies. Not all security agencies. If you see anybody from Road Safety Corps carrying a rifle, that can dismiss him and send him to prison. Starting from even the Corps Marshal. There are even within the civil defense, they have their armed squad. The same with correctional service. Those who were not trained and certificated to bear the arms in civil defense, if you are caught with it, it can lead you to lose that uniform and get charged to court. And you may end up finding yourself in prison. You must have been trained to use it and certificated.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? So the use of firearms, because it is lethal weapon, it is dangerous, it is deadly, is limited to certain trained personnel to have them, not a civilian. Even I, as a retired senior officer in the police, I have no business with firearms.
Any longer.
Except those personal firearms that I'll have to have a license to have them in my possession. So if you see automatic rifle around me, you cannot trace it to me. Maybe you would trace it to either my orderly or my guards in the house or anybody escorting me. Those ones are people who are still in service. And it's my entitlement anyway to have them around me from time to time till my last day in life. So if you see them with that, you can't hold them responsible or hold me or say that, how did this rifle come close to you? Because it has been signed for and it's documented. The source where they have, the armory they have signed for it from.
And now, Asari was seen with an AK-47.
Not only one rifle, 2 rifles.
Oh, he showed 2.
Even he showed 2.
2.
So whether it is 1 or 10, it is the same offense.
And some people feel that he's a friend to the government. And then people ask, who is going to ask this man any question?
Let us see how it will unfold. The thing is gradually going on. people are still asking questions.
In fact, at the time, he was the one who came out to say that Nnamdi Kanu shouldn't be, released. We follow these things back to back, and
Well, we are watching. Nigerians are watching, and the diasporians and the international community are also watching to know whether we are a law-abiding nation or we are a lawless nation. So I don't want to draw a conclusion on that. Whatever analysis I've made now are the way under the law things are supposed to be or things are supposed to go. So for you, as a private citizen, as you are in this studio now, you bring out AK and begin to show me. It's a serious thing. Oh. You can't get scot-free with that. Well, when the chips are down, maybe his lawyers, his solicitors will have a way to justify. Well, we will see it because it will get to that point. They would have to explain to us what the man was doing with the AK-47 rifles that he was brandishing.
It's a big. It's a big one.
It is. It is.
Though you said we shouldn't dwell so much on the past 8 years.
Yes, let us move it from 29.
But we have to talk about it.
Yes, well,
the Buhari administration committed a lot of blunders, a whole lot. Enriched several thieves. I mean, several, allegedly politicians,
yes,
did a whole lot.
The thing is this, the man.
And so we must mention
yes, even if you mention it, the damage has been done. The man was not in charge. That's not the truth of the matter. He wasn't in charge. In Obasanjo's time, Obasanjo was firm and he was totally in charge. Those are the two distinctions.
But then I almost wanted to ask the question, who wrote that statement for him? I am for everybody and I am for nobody.
No. Nobody wrote for him. He would have read it up. Somebody said that. If I remember the person's name, I'll mention him. It's an international statement made by a past political leader overseas.
He decided to also...
Yes, he just quoted the man without even giving credit to the man that made the statement.
But here is what Senator Shehu Sani is saying.
Yes.
Senator Shehu Sani has tackled former President Buhari over alleged plead not to be probed by his successor. Pleading that he shouldn't be probed.
No, the thing is this.
By his successor.
Let me even tell you one thing. If you go ahead...
Is it true Tinubu is planning to probe Buhari?
Well, they have not come up with a statement to that effect. And the fear a lot of them are having, they only want to use Buhari to shield themselves from being investigated.
Really?
Yes. Because the Buhari we know, if you go deep down and do investigations, you find out that it is those people around him that committed all these atrocities. He was all sitting there, and
using toothpick.
I don't want to go into that. He was all sitting there. They will bring and say, "Okay, sign." You say, "Have you checked it?" They say, "Yes." He will sign for them.
Okay.
Because if you look at the past, the man had been military governor, old Borno State, 75 to 76 under late Murtala Mohammed. I think between 29th of July 75 to sometime in February, after 13th of February assassination of Murtala Mohammed. Then he was thereafter made Federal Commissioner for Petroleum Resources. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, he held it from that 76 to 78, 79. Yet he did not enrich himself. Then he later again was made military head of state from 31st December 83 to 27th of August 85, 20 months. They couldn't find any. The only thing is that the man had been difficult. He had been, very, very hardened person, and he has his principles. up to that point, I have to tell you, the man was never a corrupt person. To the extent,
Buhari.
yes, to the extent that when they made him president, there was glaring evidence that he had no foreign accounts. You talk in terms of properties. Where are the properties in Nigeria? Nothing to show for it. He has been like that. Those who are around him, who knew him very, very well, at least some of them that crossed my path, if we are discussing, I'll be asking them, this is your friend, Seth. How far this and that and that and this? If they open their mouth and tell you about the man, you see that the man had no quest for primitive wealth acquisition. He had never had that. So they capitalized on it. Yes, if you go, the thing is that they are pushing him now to shield them. The man does not know the enormity or the extent of plundering these people had done. Allegedly, what they had done in terms of pilferage and looting.
And I think the fear of so many Nigerians is that some of these people who worked with Buhari
Yes.
are coming back to this same government.
Well, one way or the other, you know, some people are gamblers naturally. You see, this government thing, have been in government position is so sweet that some, when they come out, they'll feel like fish out of water. They'll still want to be relevant one way or the other. Like, if you watch the Senate president clip I saw on the social media, the extent of his convoy, Senate president, those hangers on and aides following him. Many of them will say, I think it's good to battle and go in. Even if I don't have that kind of convoy, let me have half of it. That's why a lot of them are still battling and jostling to either get chairman of this board or director general of so and so place, or to get ministerial position. That's what is playing out. And, you know, some of us, when we look at those things, we nod or shake our heads because in a time in a man's life, there is supposed to be a limit where you say, I think I've reached my crescendo. Let me be on the sideline and be a statesman. Let me be mentoring or guiding people on how to, you know, move the country forward. But some of them have no such principles. Some of them have no such thing in their blood.
A lot of them have been in power for
more than 40, 50. Some are even on wheelchair. They still want to be in power. I don't want to call names. Some are in wheelchair. Some have hit 80, heading to 90. They still want to be in charge, one place or the other. I don't know. And these are, some of them are grandparents. Some of them are great-grandparents. Yet, that greed is still in them. They want to continue to be there, to be relevant till the day they enter the grave. As if they would take one dime with them to the grave. It's very sad and unfortunate.
Well, Shehu Sani said Buhari was allergic to being probed and blamed after he did the same to his predecessor. You remember how he blamed the government of Goodluck Jonathan
Yes.
so much.
Yes.
Well, Shehu Sani recalled that Buhari blamed the previous administration for Nigeria's problems while he was in office.
Yes.
And now what happened?
Well,
And sometimes I feel pointing accusing fingers. When you point one finger to another, the other one will come back to you.
yes.
Look at it. Look at what's playing out now.
I think in that respect, what he's trying to say is that Buhari did that because Jonathan's government was a party different, or rather is a party that is different from his own political party. I mean, they took the power from PDP, it moved to APC. So what I think the party is trying to do now is let them not expose their political platform to public ridicule, where they'll say, the same APC, they did up to this or they did up to that. But I think this is beyond party thing. Whoever is a thief is a thief. If people have plundered the economy and it has been traced to them to the extent of the damage they have done, and some large sums have been traced to certain places, efforts should be made to retrieve and bring back to the national treasury.
Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. Yeah, don't worry. We're gradually getting to that time where we'll get to open up the studio lines and get your own views and opinions, your participation. Okay, but then before I do that, how would you rate the policies of Asiwaju Tinubu? Since he took over power. Now, why am I asking this? The People's Democratic Party and Labour Party, yesterday accused, this administration, Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration, of implementing anti-people policies. They said had made it difficult for many people to celebrate this Salah. It all started during the Salah. Like a lot of, Muslims people are not finding things easy at all. I think they said there is a paper that the federal government is trying to introduce as part of those documents that you should have as a car owner. That I think you pay 1,000. I forgot. I don't know. I'm trying to look up. I'm trying to recall what they call that, particular paper. Is it ownership or whatever?
Proof of ownership.
Proof of ownership.
Vehicles.
Thank you.
Yes.
Now, that's on one hand. But then, generally speaking, people have come out to say these policies are somehow, they are tight. And little have been put in place to cushion the effect. We know that all of these ones, like you rightly said, the issue of fuel subsidy, the removal, was a welcome idea by several Nigerians. But that some of all of these other things, are you sure we're just suffering from what we don't really know? But then the question is, how would you rate, or how would you, rate the policies so far?
Number one is that it's too early to begin to assess what Mr. President has done. After all, there's no Federal Executive Council in place so far. The ministers have not been...
No, but we have the little things he has done.
I'm coming to that.
Okay.
But be that as it may, so far, so good.
So far,
so good. It takes somebody that is bold to take a decision or take such decisions he is taking. It will take somebody that is bold, that is not even thinking of the next election. Because what he's doing now is for the good of everybody. We cannot keep postponing the evil's day. Till when? Look at things that have driven us to the precipice and then begin to gradually contain it without minding whose ox is God. That's exactly what the man is doing. Like I always tell you, I'm not a politician. I don't belong to any political party. I'm talking of realities. And if you ask all those other political parties, behind, they'll be clapping for the man and even shaking him. They'll even click champagne flutes with him for some of those things he's doing. Because they may not be bold enough to do that. These other political parties, they may not be bold enough to do it. But he's damning the consequence because he believes he's setting a legacy that will see us through the total mess we found ourselves in.
And with the taxes that this government has introduced, and they are introducing and will introduce?
Well, we are taking them in sequence. They are coming one after the other.
One is the fact that oil marketers have projected that the pump price of petrol could rise above 700 naira per liter.
It depends. What they are looking at, let me not cut you short. They are looking at the value of the naira to the dollar. Because whatever you are importing, you're not paying naira to import them. You're paying in foreign exchange to import them. So if, for instance, we are buying petroleum products at 400 and maybe 61 or 65, which was the official rate of the dollar to naira, official rate, then suddenly you are trying to match the two, the parallel market and the official rate, and they have hit 700. That means if you are buying before with 465 or whatever, and you're buying over 700, it will cascade to the pump price. By the time you bring it in, pay all your, you do the clearing, pay the insurance, pay everything that goes with it, and then it gets to the end users. The price can never be the same again. And that's the direction the Electricity Regulatory Commission is also heading to tell you that all the things that we are transacting on was on that former official rate of 465. And now that the thing is almost getting close to themselves at about 700 plus, that is the way the cost of the services will automatically adjust. So what they are saying in essence is that it is not a personal decision. They shouldn't see this as a party thing or the person of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the executive president of Federal Republic of Nigeria. They should see it as economic imperatives, that are realistic if we have to get out of the mess that we have found ourselves. The only thing they will say is that they are all coming at the same time, that they could have slowed the thing down.
Okay. I spoke about taxation.
Yes.
Recently,
yes,
a few minutes ago.
Yes.
And now, the removal of fuel subsidy.
One.
Good. We feel, or some Nigerians will tell you, instead of all of these taxation and, removing of subsidy is okay.
What taxation are we talking about?
Like I mentioned one.
You are talking of
the vehicle
proof of ownership. Have the government come out to make a statement to that effect?
We know how it works in this country.
Okay, wait. These are speculations. So
okay.
Let's wait for government to come out.
That,
yes.
Like I told someone, I said, see, I'm not doubting the president.
No, but is there any policy statement to that effect?
Not yet. but you know how we do things in Nigeria. We just give it to the and we feel their pulse, and then we know, okay, they will like it or they won't like it. Hold on,
wait. Let us get to the bridge before we know how to cross it.
I am not doubting this government. When I know Asiwaju Bola Tinubu is someone who can fix an economy.
Yes,
I know that one.
Yes.
In fact, I can tell you that when it comes to our debt, he will try his best to reduce it. But what I'm saying is, now, instead, don't you think the cost of governance should be reduced?
It is very high.
It's very, very high.
It's very, very high.
You're removing
subsidy. Fuel subsidy.
Yes. You're removing what do we call that? Okay, some amount of money.
Yes.
Right? Okay, let me say the way you mentioned it. You're removing subsidy.
Yes.
But then the thing is, we've not been able to address
palliatives.
Aside palliatives now.
Yes.
Our governors, our ministers,
National Assembly.
Those are the helm of affairs, all of them.
Yes.
They use almost everything for free.
I think they are going to come to that.
Free newspapers, fill, wardrobe allowances, and all of that. Why don't we cut down on?
They have no choice. We will get there. We will get there. They have no choice. We will get there. Because you cannot be running the government on borrowed funds for how long? You need to address all these issues. They are key. They are germane. And you cannot just toss them away. That's the truth of the matter.
All right, let's come back to you now, the people listening, especially for those who are watching online on YouTube. Yeah, I can see several comments. All right, just keep dropping your comments, okay? If you're watching via YouTube, go there and let's hear what you have to say. All right, Let's also feel your own pulse. VOP 90.3 FM. Now, I'll get to open up the studio lines, but then we have a WhatsApp portal that is also open right now, where you can also send all of your messages. Okay, the WhatsApp number is on the screen for those watching, via YouTube. Its number is 0700 903 9039. Again, 0700 903 9039. That's the number. But then if you want to call in, it's easy. 0700 903 903 903. Very simple. 0700, that is 0700, huh? 0700 903 903 903. I beg you, keep your comments civil, or else I'll just, now, you know how I do it. I'll just hang up on you. So just keep your comments very, very civil. I beg you. And, okay, let's get to the phone lines straight up. All right. Hello. Good afternoon to you.
Afternoon. My name is David. I'm coming from Apapa.
From Apapa.
Good afternoon.
Baraka de Salah to you too.
I greet everybody.
Yeah.
So please, I want to ask a question. I just read the news that they say they want to increase the fuel price again. From next month, being July, the fuel will be selling at the rate of 700, sometimes 650. I don't know. Is it true?
No. Not true.
Okay, because I learned something like that the marketers are complaining about it, that the fuel price will rise again.
They are just speculations.
Why I'm asking this question is because when they want fuel subsidy, they are talking about palliative, and we do not see anything. And the more they are price, the more food items, everything in the market is going high, and the salary is not increasing. They should just make sure they put things in order, because whatever they are doing is bouncing back on the poor people. And then, because they are not passing through it, they are not buying the fuel. They are not. If they are buying the fuel, I passing through what they are passing through. Before you even put an end to this subsidy something, you make sure you put everything in order so that people will not cry. Because the cry is too much outside the state. So I beg, let them put things in order, please. Have a nice day, sir.
Have a nice day to you. Thank you for calling. Thank you so very much for calling. All right. 0700 903 903 903. I'll try and read up, some of the messages here, as I take your calls. I have a couple of them here. Good afternoon.
Hello, Mr. Jude. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm greeting the CP. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon to you too.
Yeah, this is Monday.
All right, Monday, let's hear you.
Yes, thank you. You see, what CP said, that people in power want to continue. And what a Yoruba man saying that Ile aye fugbadi eni o ma araye serere o. They want to die in that place. Then after they will say we are the children of tomorrow. Where is the evidence? Where is the foundation they are laying for us to hold? I see this kind of corruption we will learn from them. Because the APC is no for everybody, not for me. It's no. Because every day they are adding weight and making the poor lose weight. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so very much. I appreciate your call. Thank you so very much for calling. Let's take more calls now. Like I said, I promised you that I was going to read a couple of messages. I'll just be reading them along, okay? Maybe I should start doing that right now. Good afternoon. Comrade Peterson says, I can't and will not concur with what your guest is saying as regards to CBN trying to link people social media accounts or social mobile accounts. Is that what you said? With their bank accounts. Having lived in abroad many years where things are working, I have never been asked to link or get my social handle account with my bank. Honestly, there is no genuine purpose in all these shenanigans. The country cannot move forward with all these shanky It's quite lengthy. I think I should leave it. Destiny sent this from Mikotun. Yeah, they said, CP, what did you say? Okay, I respectfully disagree with you on the issue concerning customers' social media accounts and CBN directive. Most of the time, when you analyze issues, you make use of the USA and some other successful countries as a case, in point for Nigeria to emulate. And I'm surprised you are not doing the same on this issue now. Does the USA or even South Africa require, the social media accounts for their citizens to combat money laundering and terrorism financing? Can't we just do things the proper way it should be done? Why does the government just keep making Nigeria a joke to, the world? Even the ants in the ground knows that why money laundering and financial terrorism thrives in Nigeria is because of the self-sabotage on the part of the government and agencies responsible for checkmating this sector. There is no point inflicting another, pointless policy on the masses who have suffered too much already with little, respite or returns. Well, that is from Destiny. Sorry, did I say Destiny? Divine. I beg your pardon. Divine sent in that one, from Ikotun. We'll take more calls, right now, but I'll just call on the CP to just wrap things up, okay? Before we run this afternoon. The number to call is 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to actually call to be part of this beautiful conversation this afternoon. Now, someone is saying, greetings, Mikami and CP. We have tax master in the saddle, fuel subsidy removal, electricity tariffs, yearly proof of ownership. Yet, they are living such extravagant life. Look at their convoy. These people seem not to feel, with the masses. I hope you don't have implosion soon. Thanks, Orji from Surulere. Back to the phone lines now quickly. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
Yes, sir. How's work, sir?
Fine. Quickly, let's go.
Yes, sir. The thing I want to say is, though this is a judge from Ipaja.
All right.
The thing I want to say is that before, I remember 2012 where the National removed subsidy, did the same administration. We see the way they are here. You understand? But the thing I want to talk that before they do something, they will have put something on the ground. You see that you need to know make the thing affect we citizens. Because, for example, now, see where I'm living now. I work as a salary earner. Collecting 20,000 naira. I'm spending, come now, be spending 800 naira. Go 400, come 400 every day. Why not it? Out of 20,000, how much you will need? If you ask those drivers, say they should, beg them, say they should bring the price down. Okay. They will tell you how much you have said they are buying the fuel. Say they are buying the fuel 500 naira per liter everywhere.
Thank you.
What this is affecting us? This is affecting too much.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate your call. Thank you so very much. Let's go here. Good afternoon to you. Hello. Hello, what's your name?
This is John Legend calling from Mushi.
All right, quickly, please. 60 seconds.
Yeah, CP, good afternoon, sir.
Same to you, my brother.
What I want to say in this data stuff is that I didn't accept what CP said on that, because what Nigeria remains to Nigeria now for them to ask us is for us to bring all our family pictures, for them to check our database. That's what is left for them, because we have done all what they asked us to do, from BVM, from NIN, and so many things we have done. After all this thing, they will just look for one other thing and ask. So I don't believe in that, because they know what they are planning over this. Secondly, when I have listened to this Kenyan president, I have seen what that man have to. What he's saying. I don't know when we Nigerians we just behave for once like all these other African partners. Our Nigerian, we are failing in everything. you can listen to that Kenya president when he addressed the Africans after the summit. The man talks and the people claps. That is what we want. We don't want a rubber stamp president. We don't want free or just someone that cannot come and defend us. And what they are only defending is their own. Look at the way President Asuwaju came into Lagos. More than 100 and something convoys everywhere. Only him, and they are rating us as a poor country. If you are the one borrowing us this money, will you be able to borrow a country that is moving with fleet of cars like this? Oh, that is why all this corruption is happening, because they want to die. They want to die and end their life and their family in this. They don't want to give all we Nigeria youth a future. They just only want to end the future of Nigeria. They want to end Nigeria and they want to end the future of Nigeria. That's what I see in this our democracy now. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. I appreciate you. Good afternoon to you. Okay, let's quickly touch on these messages. This one is saying, CP, keep it up. Good afternoon. Shepherd Mweze is his name. This person saying, good afternoon, VOP. I quite enjoy the discussion or the discuss, but I disagree with your guest on boldness of the president to put in place a draconian fuel subsidy regime without plans to cushion its effect on people. The APC wants to perpetuate itself in power and make Nigerians bear the brunt. Without justice, this country cannot move forward. Chima sent in that from Surulere. Let's take this call. Good afternoon to you.
Hello.
Hi. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. This is Nick on the line.
Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you.
60 seconds, please.
Okay. I want to speak in respect of this detail the CBN governor needs from social media. Yeah, here in Austria, I believe I have an account here, which I know very well, and they never requested such documents from me. So all they only request for me is my address, telephone number, your name, date of birth. So I don't know why they will request your secret information, which is unlawful. One. Secondly, two, I want to talk about in the respect of the fuel subsidy being removed. Here in Austria last year, that's what we call Klima bonus. Every citizen resident in Austria received 500 euros. Be you a black or a white, as long as you reside here in Austria, you get it. One. So when the gas was so expensive because of the Russia and Ukraine war, so electricity was so expensive, the government still gave us extra 150 euros to support our light bill. Please, I want to ask, since you were born as a citizen of Nigeria, have the government given you 5,000 naira cash? I'm not even talking about euro. So please, I don't know where our leaders, when they come to Europe, they know all these things. They see it. They praise the government. When they go back home, it's like inside the flight, they keep their brain inside the flight and come down from the airport. I don't know. It's so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing.
I appreciate your call. Thank you. Thank you so very much. Quickly, we have to run. Take your time. That's why I'm just trying to see, how many calls and messages I can just read before or take before we run. This one is saying, let us pray that the president will have the courage to influence the politicians, especially those from his party, to reduce the cost of governance. Senators, House of Reps, and governors. Peter sent in that one. We are quick to condemn whatever policy the government put in place. How does giving your social media handle affect your day-to-day life? How does 1K yearly proof of ownership of vehicles affect the poor? Let's give this government a chance and stop condemning whatever we do. Okay, thank you so much. This is Pali Egu from Texas, United States. Nigeria, needs consequences and accountability for actions. If not, there will never be progress. Here in Texas, a conversation or a conservative state in U.S. impeached Anthony General of the same party for wrongdoing. There should be consequences for wrongdoing in Nigeria. It says if there should be consequences and accountability for actions. That there would never be progress. It was making. I really wanted you to talk about this, but I will hope we have the time. It's a year in Texas, a conservative state in U.S. impeached Attorney General of the same party for wrongdoing. Okay, let's see. Whether you like it or not, there is so much waste in this country, and it's only Peter Obi that can stop Monjay from Egbeda. Okay, I would take just 2 more calls and we wrap things up. And CP is just going to wrap up, shortly or briefly. Okay, this is VOP 90.3 FM. Let's see if we can take 2 more calls and we roll 0700 903 903 903. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Jude.
60 seconds, please. What's your name?
Yeah, my name is
All right. Okay.
I really appreciate you. Whenever I'm so glad. He's always the point. And he's not being sentimental at all. He says the truth. The thing that people don't, I really appreciate it so much. And you see, what people don't understand is that we should always learn to try to study the situation of things around us and what our country is going through. In fact, I see people talking about the issue of social media. See, when there's a problem somewhere in a nation, nations are different. For people, for them to drop your social media account and everything, they have their reasons. You know, when people have taken money and they've gone and they couldn't be retraced again, they've closed, they've left the country and so on. So I don't blame anybody doing that. And to me, I believe that we have to be patient as a nation. I understand it's so painful and the economy is biting hard. Then I believe in the next few years, we'll all be happy. And I'm very, very happy that you should do it yourself. You said that you know that the president can do something in the economy. All of the things, we have to face reality. And let us not stop being sentimental. We know this man can do it. Give him time. And we all the benefits. In Yoruba land, in Allah, we say, that means that when you are going to get a mark, it's very, very painful. And when it becomes, when you grow up, it becomes a beauty. We are being paid now. In the next few years, we will all appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much. I appreciate you. Now, let me quickly get back to, let me touch on YouTube. Let me just take 1 or 2 comments there. Odedele Mayowa, he said, please let them restructure Nigeria. This system is no more sustainable. The pain is too much. And Paul Okeke, he said, good afternoon. In Europe, you don't need social media accounts in any bank to do anything. And he also went ahead to say, when you want to open accounts in Europe, they only need your ID card. That's what he said. CP.
Yes.
You must help us wrap up now, quickly. 60 seconds.
Well, Nigerians, I'll appeal with them to bear with whatever we are going through now. We'll get off it as time goes on. And furthermore, like the man from Austria who was talking of palliative given to them, he should look at the economy of Austria. He will see that they have a buoyant economy, well managed in the past. In Nigeria, the people were selfish. None of them was selfless. And it got to the extent that today, when you look at the population is too large. The funds are not there. So we need to...
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. I appreciate you, CP. We really have to go. Our time is fast spent. Thank you so very much.
I appreciate it.
We'll be having you again on Tuesday by the grace of God. So maybe we'll continue from there.
It's all right.
My name is Jude. On social media, Ikami Jude. That's the name. Jude. Ikami Jude. But on social media is Ikami Jude. IKAMIJUDH. Facebook, Instagram, and all of that. Yeah? Ikami Jude. I love you so much. I'll be here tomorrow. Do have fun, and please do follow VOP across all socials. That is at VOP 903 FM. Until tomorrow, be good. Good afternoon. Please.
Dear valued listeners, we believe in free